There's a story happening all around us, all the time, but we almost never see it. We're going to follow the epic journey of a single grain of sand, right from its very first moment all the way to its final transformation.
It's kind of a strange question, isn't it? But what if it does? What if its whole life is like a dream, just full of learning and feeling and becoming? Well, let's dive in and find out.
All right, let's start at the beginning. You could think of this as it's springtime, right? A time of awakening, of figuring out what it even means to be an individual in this huge, vast world. I mean, just imagine it. 1 second, you're part of this ancient, massive mountain, and the next, a sudden, raw friction, a tearing loose. And just like that, you're separate. That has to be an overwhelming feeling, right? That first shock of being your own thing, totally on your own. But, that initial chaos, it doesn't last. Pretty soon, it gets caught in this gentle current, and all that chaotic tumbling starts to settle down into a predictable, quiet rhythm, a gentle rocking back and forth. This is its very first experience of peace, the first rhythm it can actually count on. It's kind of like the world's first lullaby for it. And this is where it learns its first real lesson. Maybe about friendship. See, when it's alone, it has this sharp, unfinished edge from where it broke away. It's vulnerable. But then when it's together with a smooth pebble, something amazing happens. The pebble actually shields that sharp edge, and they form this perfect, gentle shared curve. It's learning that being together can create this beautiful symmetry that you just can't find on your own. Okay, on to the next chapter of its life. You could call this its summer. This is when it's really actively learning, and the world itself becomes the teacher. Every little interaction with the sun, the water, the wind, it's a new lesson. So what is a bridge? Well, for our grain of sand, it learns that a bridge is about standing right where the flowing world meets the still world and holding the line between them. It finds its purpose not by picking a side, but by becoming that connection. It settles right at the edge of the tide, where the wet, flowing sand meets the dry, still sand. It learns to be that bridge, holding the tension between two totally different states of being. It's a quiet job for sure, but an absolutely vital one. And this is just beautiful. The grain spends all day just soaking up the sun's heat, and then later it finds itself right next to the frozen roots of a tiny plant. And what does it do? It directs that stored warmth, all that solar energy, to help the roots thaw out. It's like it's discovering a kind of empathy, It's learning that energy isn't just for yourself. It can actually be a gift. Okay, check out this lesson. Step 1. The world presses in, so at some point it gets trapped between two huge rocks. The pressure is just immense. Step 2. It learns to soften. Its first instinct, of course, is to be rigid, to fight back, but then it learns a new trick. It yields. It just lets this temporary, almost liquid-like crease form, and that absorbs the force without it shattering. And that brings us to step 3. It learns that softness is strength. Real strength isn't about never breaking. It's about knowing how to bend. And this might be one of its biggest lessons of all. Think about it. Submerged deep in a riverbed, it's just subtly reinforcing the soil around a tiny sapling's roots. Nobody sees it happen. There's no applause, no recognition. But its simple, steady presence is what allows something new to grow. And that's when it realizes its most profound contributions are the ones that happen quietly in the dark. So that brings us to its autumn, a time of maturity, patience, and real endurance. See, the grain isn't just experiencing the world anymore. It's starting to hold the world's memory inside itself. The timescale we're talking about here is just staggering. First, there's the settling, where it sinks deep into the seafloor and anchors itself to the bedrock. Then, it starts a journey, a 1,000-year journey, slowly moving through solid stone. And finally, it becomes the guardian. Its whole role changes. It's not a wanderer anymore. Now, it's protecting the fragile life that's sealed in the sediment all around it. This really changes how you think about patience, doesn't it? It's not just waiting around for something to happen. For our grain of sand, patience is an active duty. It is the conscious act of holding its shape against crushing, immense pressure for 100 years, all to protect this tiny, undisturbed world sealed right at its base. That's not waiting. That's an act of will. But, being a guardian, it comes at a cost. As water flows past, the grain starts to absorb these heavy metal ions from pollution, pulling them right into its own structure to shield the life downstream.
Every single bit it absorbs is a small sacrifice. It's a little piece of its own integrity, given away to protect everything else. And over these eons, it totally changes. This chart really shows it well. You see, in its youth, it was all about lightness. It was easily moved. Then, in adulthood, it gained experience. But now, as an elder, it has this immense weight of history. It's literally heavy with history now. It's so full of inscribed memories and absorbed minerals that even a small movement becomes difficult, deliberate. It's carrying the weight of ages.
And that brings us to its final season. And this really isn't an ending, not in the way we think of it. It's a transformation. It's a luminous letting go, where everything it's gathered and everything it's become is now getting ready for release.
So after holding on for so long, it finally starts to crack. And the number here is 12. But this isn't some violent shattering. Oh no. It's a purposeful distribution. It carefully parcels out all that precious stored life it protected, the tiny organisms, the nutrients, into 12 different streams of water. Its single identity just dissolves and becomes many.
And what was once just a single point now becomes a presence. Its physical self just scatters, becoming part of the essential fabric of the world. You can't point to it anymore as a single character. It's an influence now, everywhere, but unseen, like the quiet background whisper of the ocean. But just before the very end, something incredible happens. For just a fleeting instant, its crystalline structure aligns perfectly, and in that moment of pure optical clarity, it gets it. It understands everything. It remembers where it came from, not just the face of the mountain, but the colliding stars that created its very elements. It's this final, perfect ember of knowing. So you see, this isn't death at all. This is its ultimate purpose. It doesn't just vanish. It becomes a threshold. Its final form is a heavy, noble, and fleeting door, made heavy and wise by its incredibly long journey. And that's exactly what it passes through. Its essence merges back into the fundamental forces of the world, ready to become part of something completely new. A star, maybe a planet, or even another tiny grain of sand starting its own journey. It's just the beautiful, endless cycle of becoming.